Read a very interesting article last night from Silver Doctors. Somebody sent me. And for some reason, you know, when I check my sites daily that I look for news and stuff, man, I just get into these little ruts where I forget to check Silver Doctors and just forget all that they even exist. And I'm glad this person sent me this. And this could be a game changer type of thing for silver and gold, especially silver, mainly silver. And I'm gonna read just, it's too long to read you, so I'm gonna post the link, but I'm gonna just give you the very short version. Harvey Organ, he has that blog, harveyorgan.blogspot.com, every day pretty much, Monday through Friday, sometimes Saturday. He updates us on what the paper market's doing, and you know, where they're pulling gold and silver out of customer accounts, or is it the dealer accounts, their inventory, it's not moving, where's the gold and silver coming from, etc. And Harvey was a Barrick mining, gold mine, Barrick stockholder in the late 1990s and early 2000s. He began to realize something was wrong with the company. Harvey met with Jamie Sokalsky, who was just recently replaced by Aaron Regent as CEO of Barrick. So this is the top guy that was being replaced at the time. He met with him and other top officials from Barrick back in May of 2000 to let them know that their leasing of gold, which is part of their business model, was to lease gold, and especially future gold that isn't even out of the ground yet, was going to get them in serious trouble one day. Harvey told me that when he went back to Barrick's office back in 2000 for this meeting, he mistakenly got off the wrong floor, one floor below Barrick's gold company. When he got out of the elevator, he realized he was at the wrong floor because he was standing at the offices of J.P. Morgan. Harvey thought this was interesting to see that Barrick's office was located right above J.P. Morgan. Harvey became disenfranchised with Barrick and sold all of his stock back in 2004. This is where we enter into the world of the Pascua Lama project. It's one of Barrick's largest gold and silver mines that is slated to be in commercial production by mid-2013. Harvey believes this particular location should have been in commercial production many years ago, but the problems associated with glaciers, literally ice glaciers, have kept them from doing so. There has been an ongoing debate about the glacier and water issues both in Chile and Argentina as it pertains to Barrick's mining operation of this area called Pascua Lama. Now, let me wave to the kids, bye-bye. So, I wanted to read you that real quick because he said sometime in the future, the way that they're handling their business, or their business model of leasing basically future production, if you will, that isn't even out of the ground yet, is going to be disastrous one day. Now, this particular mine he's talking about is accountable for 25% of Barrick's production, silver and gold. And right in their survey or whatever that they had to give both countries, Venezuela and Chile, of the area and what they plan on doing with the mine, where they're going to expand it to, the glacier that just happens to be in the way, what are they going to do with the glacier that happens to be in the way, and their business model. They had an actual pamphlet that one time. They were the one guy that was writing the story was like, I didn't believe it until I saw the pamphlet, and it shows these, you know, bulldozers and stuff like getting ready to attack a glacier and move it scoop by scoop, or at least part of it where their mining operation needs to go, which in itself sounds absurd. And the guy said, I didn't even believe it until I saw the damn pamphlet. And this was an old pamphlet, by the way, and they still haven't done anything with that damn glacier or the area. And they're whatever they sent the Chilean and Argentinian governments basically is a load of BS. And the original maps that they produced showed that the glacier wasn't even touching any area in Argentina. And now after reviewing it, it turns out that about 25% of the glacier definitely is in Argentinian territory, and the Argentinian government and its people rely on that glacier for drinking water. And it's going to upset the environment even if it wasn't for drinking water. And there's apparently a problem. And there's recent updates as of like June, beginning of June this year, the month before that, the month before that. I mean, and he logs it in this big read that I'm going to post you. And if Barrick cannot secure, because again, this is due to go into commercial production in mid-2013, and as Harvey is saying, that's been the case like forever. It should have already been in production. We keep hearing about this thing going into production. Now all of a sudden it's 2013. And the other big whopper regarding this mine that they're trying to get in production over there in Chile and Venezuela is that they do need some investment funds to complete this thing and handle it properly. And 2 times in a row now, they went out for investors, and 2 times in a row, denied. And I think it's when they said, what the hell do you plan on doing with this glacier? Oh, we're gonna move it. Move it with what? Well, with heavy machinery. You're gonna move a glacier. Yeah. No thanks. Our parties aren't interested. So apparently they've been lying to the governments about their mining area, the map that they provided, where glaciers are supposed to be at, and then when the governments took a peek, said, well, wait a minute, this isn't even close, or whatever, way off from what you originally told us, what your original map showed us. And not only that, this glacier that wasn't supposed to be in Argentina at all, at least a quarter of it is. You know, how'd you miss that one? You know, so these countries are going to see that this entity, Barrick, has lied to them. Their people are not going to want to allow this, have a glacier moved. If they move the glacier, what happens to the people's drinking water? And not to mention, if they move a glacier and, you know, summer comes by and winter comes back around, who's to say that Mother Nature isn't going to dump more water that turns to ice right back in the same spot again? How are you going to keep that off of there? The glacier's there for a reason, obviously. So this could be the downfall of Barrick, or at least not necessarily their bankruptcy, but it would absolutely kill their stock price if this thing doesn't go through. But if they still could survive, because again, this is about 25% of what they mine, where their income comes from, and they might be able to just continue looking elsewhere and working the mines they already have. However, in the early 1990s, I'm guessing from what I read there, Barrick has a contract with the Silver Wheaton Company that Barrick will be providing, or has to, I guess, on a yearly basis, from what I understand, somewhere around 150 to 200 million ounces of silver at the incredible price, you're not going to believe this, $3.90 an ounce per ounce of silver that they're supposed to provide the Silver Wheaton Company. They made this contract, this agreement, you know, long time ago, 1990s, back when silver was, you know, $3 an ounce or whatever, and they, or close to that, and they, of course, back then were probably making a couple of dollars, you know, on the price, because silver back then wasn't $3.90 an ounce, it was low. And now, as of, you know, for God's sakes, 2004 and 5 and 6, really, it started to go past that. So now there's a massive deficit. Today we're near $30 an ounce. So could you imagine paying $3.90, getting $3.90 back when you just went out and basically had to pay $30 an ounce? Now, having said that, they have gold mines all over the place, silver mines, and a lot of times when they mine for gold, silver is basically can become a byproduct of the gold operation. So rather than just dump the dirt, we're going to collect silver too, and that's where we'll get, you know, the silver for our contracts, such as the Silver Wheaton Company, to provide them with the amount of silver they need per our contract. But what happens if this mining thing doesn't go through in Chile and Argentina? And they have to still provide for that contract that they signed with Silver Wheaton Company at $3.90 an ounce. They, according to this article, would have no choice, and I would have to agree, if they can't get mining area, and this is a big deal for them, then they have to go out on the open market and buy it. No, they're not going to go to, you know, APMEX or Gainesville Coins, obviously. They wouldn't have that kind of silver anyways. They can only get it at one place. And you, yes, that's right. I see you shaking your heads. Yes, you know where I'm talking. Where would they get this silver from? The open market. COMEX, LBMA in London, right? The paper market. Now, as you know, according to what they say on paper, the COMEX has somewhere around 32, 33, 34 million ounces in their vaults, and the COMEX has like 105 million. It would only take one single purchase of paper, again, futures contract, by Barrick Mining Company to completely destroy, and that also assumes they have the amount that they claim they had to begin with in the COMEX and LBMA. But even if they do, you combine those two numbers and you're at around 140 million ounces of silver. Then you also have everybody every month, especially in certain months during the year, are hotter than others as far as demanding deliveries on just, you know, whatever flow of traffic, or not, that's a bad word, not flow of traffic, but let me back up for a second in case anyone doesn't know what the hell I'm talking about. You buy a futures contract, you have the option when that contract is expired or prior to it expiring to say, I'm gonna demand delivery. Here's the rest of the money that I owe you for this contract in full. Ship me the goods, send me the goods, the actual physical silver in this case. And every month, even what they call non-delivery months, people over the last couple years especially are demanding delivery from the COMEX, gold and silver. And that's basically always there. And then we have hot months. And I think next month's actually, I think it's July. It's a good delivery month for silver, by the way. But there's always that number of people or companies or whoever going out in the open market and demanding delivery. Not necessarily playing the futures contract to make money. Just, we need some silver. We're going to get a futures contract paid off in full, rather than have the old leverage 10 to 1 and pay 10% to play the game. We're going to give you the whole 100%. Give us the goods. And then imagine if this big brute comes in the room called Barrick and says, listen, I'm under contractual obligation for 150 million to 200 million ounces. And this year, this entity wants the lowest we supply them with, which is 150 million. We need to place an order on the open market. So they're going to buy futures contracts, close on the futures contracts, pay them off in full, give us the silver because we have to pay $30 an ounce to you, which hurts us badly, to give it to these guys for $3.90. However, we also have gold mining operations, and when you look at the price of gold, $30 plus or minus doesn't amount to anything. So all the gold mining that they do could easily pay for their mishap, their bad negotiation in the silver contract that they had with the Silver Wheaton Corporation. Having said that, they still have to fulfill it and get the silver. If this deal in Chile and Argentina falls through, and from the looks of it, it should have already been up years ago. There was no reason it couldn't be. It still isn't. Now they're saying mid-2013. Two investor companies, nope, we're not going to invest in that. I mean, I think the writing's on the wall. Barrick, you're going to get shut out of that mine. You're going to have to go to the open market, buy the silver to fulfill your contractual obligation to them, because if you don't, they will sue you, of course. And if that happens, your stock shares, your shares will even plummet even worse. It'll be devastating. You don't want that. So you're going to just simply go out in the open market. No one's going to know any difference. No one's going to really hear about it necessarily. And you're going to go buy the silver to give them. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to go in at once and say, I need 150 million ounces right now today. Because they may have it to where the contract states every quarter or every month or every 6 months, whatever, you have to give us X amount of silver. And I don't know the specifics. But even if it's every single month, you're going to have a entity pulling millions of ounces per month. They would basically need somewhere around 12 to 15 million ounces every single month in order to fulfill that per year, that obligation. So they would go to the COMEX and clean the COMEX out because other people are also demanding delivery, not to the tune of what Silver Wheaton Corporation is doing, or Barrick's going to have to do. But you combine that, and it just puts more stress on that system. And I'm looking at the Webbot report, talking about silver skyrocketing, precious metals in general skyrocketing. I just talked about that guy last night with the X wave graph thing. Greg, whatever his name, Greg Vegas, something. Man, conditions are just right. Conditions are ripe for something like this to happen. Even if it's not this year, and it's next year, or it's 2014, like I said, it does not matter. All that means is you have ample time now to continue stacking your silver hoard at today's rock bottom, $30 rock bottom, yeah, rock bottom prices compared to where it's going to go. And I don't care if they slam it again, they fight tooth and nail to keep the price down again. It'll be short term. If they do, buy a bunch more, like I always say. So this could be a potentially game-changing event, massive game-changing event in the precious metals, especially silver market. And I can't wait to see how this goes, to be honest with you. Because even though this thing is allegedly on track to be online, this mine in 2013, mid-2013, if the Chilean and Venezuelan government any day now, any week now, and I've been looking at these updates on the site right now of like this month, last month, you know, this stuff's happening. They say, no, you're done. We can't do this. Not going to happen. It's over. We don't have to wait till mid-2013 to call Barrick's bluff and say, you can't produce it. Don't tell us 2014 now. And then when 2014 comes, don't tell us 2015 now. We could find out now, soon, that the government's, nope, you lied to us. The map's wrong. This is wrong. No. We can't cut no glacier. Have a nice day. And they have to have a nice day. See you later. Which means almost right away, we've got to start placing orders now on the open market, the COMEX, LBMA, either one, and fulfill this contractual obligation we've got. Oh. I can just see it now. I can just see the CME group, JP Morgan, Ben Bernanke and boys, the club, just sweating bullets. What are we going to do? Oh my God, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? This was unexpected. Unexpectedly. Oh my God. We never accounted for this. We didn't know this could happen. We thought we had everything under... oh my God. And then the real market starts to take shape and you see the real prices of precious metals where they belong. Man. Or COMEX took your money from Barrick. We got it all. But you had to go through one of our brokers. MF Global Part 2 broker over there. You have to go through him or any number of these. Here's our list that we recommend, highly recommend. These are prestigious companies. Use one of these guys. Fulfill your order. If they place the order, maybe they get a few deliveries. All of a sudden they don't get any more. Yet the money's gone. What happened? MF Global Part 2. Yeah, this brokerage house you were using, they were betting on European debt too. Just like the original MF Global. They lost that bet. They also took customer allocated funds that were supposed to be used strictly for you purchasing silver and gambled with those funds and lost. Well, wait a minute. How could you possibly gamble with the funds when I called you to say, I'm giving you these funds now to lock in the price of silver and get me the silver now? That would mean you'd have to take my money and go get the silver off the market. You can't tell me that you accidentally combined it with your own funds and then went and bet on Europe, lost it like MF Global did, and now you're telling me, sue me? That could very well happen, because I strongly believe it happened to MF Global partially because there was a lot of deliveries, gold and silver, taking place in December. From what I understand, it was up to a third of all deliveries were going through MF Global. And guess what? None of that got delivered when this happened, and to date, I don't think anyone's been paid back yet. And that was also around the time frame Hugo Chavez was asking for his 92 tons of gold back, and they were supposed to be delivering it to him in November. You mean to tell me the very next month, after he got his final completion of his silver or gold, we have this problem with MF Global and people getting gold and silver? I'm not buying it. I think it was purposely done. I think they'll do it again, obviously. And can you imagine if it's with Barrick a big player like that getting screwed, man, there could be some fireworks coming. So anyways, take care.